Alrighty, so today I want to go over the summonable LR EZA list. This is going to be very similar to what we did for the summonable LRs, where we rank them on a scale of 1 to 10 relative to when they released. I'm not going to be counting major bonus points away from characters because they didn't age perfectly, right? I just want to let that be known. And I think before we get into rating all of the characters, I think it is worth noting that a lot of characters this year, I think they did a really good job with EZAs in general, and I think that the LRs were a standout kind of group of characters from 2024, right? We talked about this yesterday, but LRs have sort of just begun, or not begun, but like, you know, we are in the full swing, like, it's like you don't need TURs on teams anymore, right? That is the era that we are currently in, where TURs can be good, but they are nowhere near necessary. And we also saw a lot of marquee EZAs that people were waiting for, right? You guys can see a few on the screen, you know, with Gogeta and Janemba and Vegito, Super Vegito ended up EZAing, and we're going to be talking about all these characters as we move on. So I pulled up all of them kind of just based on the list here on Dokkan info, just kind of like boom, 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 boom. Like I just sort of clicked them as they came up. So that is what we're going to be reviewing today. If I did miss any, I will make sure that I get them before the video is over. But you guys can see my computer is like, what are you doing, dude? Because with all these tabs open. But let's go ahead and get started. And the first character we need to talk about is STR UI Goku. Now, I think that STR UI Goku, like, this is one of these characters where we just have to evaluate them in the window of the anniversary, right? Because if I just evaluate him from the prospect of like the countdown celebration, then we could be like, oh yeah, this character's like a 9 out of 10, right? But it was very evident very quickly when the anniversary got started that this character did not have enough. And that is on the defensive side of things. I think offensively they were okay, or you could say good, right? This character disables enemies' guard, so that is very helpful, right? You're able to kind of get through some defensive mechanics that a boss potentially could have. Being able to raise your attack and defense on the super alongside the buildup that this character will have when you are dodging attacks, with key, with attack and defense all right up here with the each attack evaded, right? We're going to be able to build up two pretty high numbers. So getting this character to like respectable numbers was pretty fun. And I think like he was an okay EZA. Was he the worst EZA we've ever seen, right? Was he like an Int Rose LR was not the worst one we've ever seen, but was he like an Int Rose EZA where it was just like, right? I don't think so. I think that you could say this character was good, but unfortunately in this case, it wasn't even that he aged out. It was literally like a new event dropped like 6 days later and he was gone. So UI Goku, I'm gonna give let's go a 6 out of 10. I think that's fair, right? Like this character wasn't cracked, but he was still good. So UI Goku, let's go ahead and move on. Now the Broly Trio, this one's tricky, right? I think this character, the EZA was well done because this character is still usable, but they are missing one key thing that could have literally made them like a perfect EZA. And to me, I think that this character is in dire need of Rainbow Orb changing. With Rainbow Orb changing, this character could have went from like, whenever I'm going to rate them, to like a 9 out of 10. Because this kit is not bad. When you have those 7 orbs, they are untouchable, right? As long as dodge isn't disabled, it's perfect. But the issue with that is that 7 orbs is a lot of orbs. And usually if you want to consistently see 7 orbs, you're going to need an orb changer. And you might be saying like, oh, when you reach a certain HP threshold, where is it? It's right here, right? Like when HP is 39% or lower, you get all of the orbs change, right? So you get 23 orbs, you essentially get a full heal. With the defensive stat, you get a guaranteed dodging on that turn. Well, that's only one turn. So consistent rainbow orb changing or even physical orb changing, I think would have been so dire for this character, or so important, because it just would have made things so much easier and this character way easier to use, considering they have a support role on this team, or on their teams, right? They have utility with their dodging. This is a character where if they had like rainbow orb changing or they had physical orb changing, this is somebody that you could easily just run off lead on teams, right? If an event has no phases that disable dodge and you can consistently get to that 7 orb threshold that you need, like you're perfect, right? So it's a lot, right? But I think that the support that this character gives and the utility that they do have, as well as like okay offensive like output, right? Like this character is pretty consistently double to triple supering with decent high attack stats. So when they came out, I think this EZA was really good. Let's go ahead and give them an 8 out of 10. Now, moving along, we have Evo Ken, Evolution Blue Vegeta, and Kaioken Blue Goku. I really like this character. This EZA is really good. This is when we kind of knew that they weren't messing around, right? With just the sheer numbers that this character was able to put up, right? Offensively, the numbers were there. Defensively, after doing the supers and stuff, the numbers were there. And they also supplemented this character's kit with the ability to become self-sustaining. That was the biggest issue with this character. One of the jobs, I think, of the EZA when this character dropped, in my opinion, was they needed to make them a self-efficient character. And what do I mean by that, right? Like, what does self-sufficient mean, right? It's like you don't need a Rainbow Orb Changer alongside of them that could potentially run the team at a deficit in order to get this character to look good. This character now, or Evolution Blue Vegeta and Kaioken Blue Goku, now were their own orb source, where they did not have to worry about having a Rainbow Orb Changer around because they were able to do it themselves. So this was going to be very helpful. So where do we have all the Rainbow Orb buffs, right? Randomly changes it right here. If there's another Superheroes category ally, you're going to be running this character alongside like a Tournament of Power character almost at all times. So Superheroes is not going to be a problem, right? So here's what happens when they get these Rainbow Orbs. We get 7% crit chance, we get damage reduction, and guaranteed additional attacks with a high chance to become a super attack per Rainbow Key Orb. So you get 5 or 6 of these things, we're talking 42% damage reduction, we're talking 35% damage reduction, but more realistically, we're looking down the barrel of like 28% damage reduction on top of the super high, well over 1 million defensive stats that this character was going to be getting after supering, getting up to easily over like clearing like the 15 to 16 million range with their super attack and stuff like that. And this was like like 2024 power creep setting all the way in. So these attack and defensive stats were very impressive. Then we also have a active skill here. Where's the effect on this? It's key plus 24, defense minus 50%. There's something up here. Where is it? Is this correct? Like, I know with the active skill, you're able to get like that extra damage reduction, right? Yeah, so it's like right here. Here it is. I'm sorry. Perform a critical hit when key meter's at 24, and then once only you get damage reduced by 70% when HP is 50% or lower. So typically, this is going to be your active skill turn. You're going to have that 70% damage reduction when HP is 50% or lower. So keep that in mind. I think this character's really good. We get that massive attack buff, and we are putting up crazy attack stats. So overall, I would give this character, this EZA, let's go ahead and give them an 8.5 out of 10. Very, very good. Now, moving along. These are where the big boys are at, right? We got some crazy ones up here. UI Goku. In terms of what, so we're just going to quickly go through these because I talk about these characters a lot. The guaranteed dodging turn 1, this is like going to be one of the best aging characters the game has ever seen, in my opinion. Just like offensively, defensively, they gave them everything. They have the utility with the guaranteed dodging in turn 1, and then they also have like the 77% dodge chance that's going to build up 7% chance per dodge. The active skill is good. There's just so much going on here. To me, this is an easy 10 out of 10 EZA. And the same thing is going to be said for Evolution Blue Vegeta. These characters were literally like top 4 contenders when they came out. So both of these two, 10 out of 10 EZAs. Let's move on. Now, looking at Buuhan, I think that Buuhan, this is a really good one too, and this is going to be where I give this character like a little bit of a bonus point, just a little bit, right, for aging really well, right? Oh, just the way that this character like was one that came out and was super well done, but he really gained that extra value when the game kind of fleshed out the teams that he belonged on. And I think that at the time, like with the scale that we are rating him on, I think that this character was easily able to look impressive, or I say this character a lot, I'm sorry, but Buuhan was able to look very impressive. Again, it was just sort of a little bit tricky to kind of work him and intertwine him with his teams, just because there were a lot of characters that still needed to come out in order to flesh out this guy's full potential. So I think when he came out, it was still like an easy like 8.5 out of 10 for the EZA. When you transform with him, you have the guard, you have the little dodging, you have the utility with the ceiling, you have the action break, right? Just a very all the healing that a Buuhan character, a Buu character typically does. Very good EZA. Let's go ahead and give him an 8.75 out of 10 for when he came out. And then when he aged out, or when he got better, I would give him like a 9. So moving along, we have STR Super Vegito. Very well done EZA as well. This character was able to become sustaining in the base form, especially like slot 2 to start out, but you were able to stack that defense now and get that defensive stat very high. And then the active skill, unfortunately, the condition did not change, but This character was able to put up some very good attack and defensive stats. And then we are also on top to boot. We have damage reduction against the normals now. And then we also have the Scouter. So in theory, as long as you are not locked, this character is not going to be able to take super attacks. So you're able to get the super high damage out. You're able to get the, again, the Scouter to see it. You have the guard now. And the damage reduction, like I said, on the normal attacks, just very hard to pierce through this character's armor, and they did this EZA really well. Overall, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Now, moving along, this is where the order kind of messed up because of the website, so Turles we'll just talk about really quickly, right? Like, he belongs a little bit later in the video. It's just like, what the hell happened here? But looking at this guy right here, our boy Turles. This character, our boy, again, Turles, I like how he was designed, right? The support that he was able to provide and the movie boss's team, the role that he played here is very, very nice, right? Defensively, he was able to hold his own, but like wasn't like dodging supers or anything like that, but was able to provide support. It was still effective against all types. Like right here, you guys can see guaranteed crits on the 24 key, typically doing 2 to 3 supers very, very easily. Then we have all of these crazy like buffs, like the support. 50% support is like stupid, right? Damage reduction right here with Terrifying Conquerors or Planetary Destruction. That team worked out very well. So overall, I really like Turles, and let's go ahead and give this EZA again another 8.75. Now again, things did get a little bit messy with the order here, so let's continue. But we have the buff here of all of the Universal Survival Saga EZAs, right? We had like a slew of them right here. We had Golden Frieza and 17, 17, and Universe 7. And then we also had Jiren as well. So we're going to be rating all 3 of these very quickly, right? 17 and Golden Frieza, I adore the design for this EZA. And it's really like, so like turn 1, this character has like that ability to be a slot 1 character at times, but is not going to be perfect in slot 1. But like in events where they don't hit too hard right away, like this character could easily just go into slot 1 right away for that first turn and get that extra damage reduction. But this is one of those characters that easily belongs in like slot 2 or slot 3. And in any fight, they are really going to fare very well just because of the way that they are designed, right? It's this, where is it right here? It's this line right here. Like this is one of the best lines for a passive you could have, right? So chance of performing a critical hit plus 17% and reduces damage received by 17% within the same turn with each attack performed. So this is not super attacks. This is just attacks, and this is an infamous like super normal character, right? Like this is a huge issue for their active skill because they need to super 4 times. Now the EZA did fix that a little bit in terms of like the super attacks and stuff like that, but now on top of these attacks, it's not just, oh, their numbers are getting higher, it's this damage reduction is getting higher. So if you, like I said, you do the math, right? Your first attack, you're at 17. Let's say you do 2 attacks, you're at 34. We get that third attack in, we're at 51. The fourth attack, 68. And if we do 5 attacks on a turn, we're talking 85% damage reduction while you have like decent defense, right? Like 85% damage reduction and then 100% defensive raise right here with each super, or you're not going to like, most times you're not going to do 5 supers, but you're going to be getting this extra defense plus 11%. So at the very least, like you're on a 24 key, right? You're going to be getting 20 and then probably like 33 to 44% extra defense. So very high defensive numbers. The offensive output can look decent. The active skill is just okay. I'm not going to act like it was crazy, but you know, getting the guaranteed crits doesn't hurt. And you know, getting that extra the damage reduction is just dumb. So to me, this was an easy 9 out of 10 EZA. Very, very good. Now, unfortunately, the next 2 were not 9 out of 10, but I still think that these characters were very good. With 17 and Universe 7, very support-based around the Universe 7 team, obviously, and it helped make TEQ UI Goku look very good. It helped make AGL UI Goku very good. Evolution Blue Vegeta, Evo Ken, 17 and Golden Frieza, 17 and 18, the Dokkan Fest TUR, right? This character is helpful for all of them. We get extra attack, extra defense for Rainbow Orbs, right? We're giving key for everybody with Rainbow Orbs, right? It's helpful, right? He had good support, decent offensive numbers, decent defensive numbers, but again, just was nowhere near on the level of like 17 and Golden Frieza or anything like that. So I'm going to give this EZA a 7.5 out of 10. When it comes to Jiren, we'll just kind of quickly talk about this guy. Became a little bit better Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna give him a 7.5 out of 10 as not even. I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10. Has damage reduction right away, can have decent attack stats, decent defensive stats. You link him up with AGL Jiren and they work pretty well together. But this Jiren did not step in and become like a viable option in some of the hardest content in the game. The way a character like, what's his name, 17 and Golden Frieza did, AGL UI Goku did, Evolution Blue Vegeta did. So overall, I'm gonna give this EZA, let's go 6.5, just okay. Now, moving along. Again, the order got a bit messed up here, just with the way the website's laid out. We had Namek Krillin and Namek Gohan. Now, both of these characters, in my opinion, were pretty forgettable. Honestly, like, I don't even know how much, like, we care, right? Like, obviously I'm going to talk about them, but like, they're okay, right? We get extra ki, we have dodging, right? A medium chance of dodging, we get extra chance of dodging right here, a chance of evading enemy super attack, right? Like, that's good after we super. Like, they're an okay slot 2 unit that works out fine on a team that's really bad. So Namek Saga, just not great. Let's go ahead and give this one a 6 out of 10. And the same thing is basically going to be said. I'll give this Vegeta like a 6.5 out of 10 just because he has revive utility. So nothing too crazy to talk about. Let's just move on. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you guys can see here, it came out right at the beginning of the year for 2024. So this is actually the first one. Again, website layout, like I had to go way back to find this character, so don't get on me too much here. But this guy, I really do like the way that they did like the so in the context of like when he came out, like it's just he put up some pretty ludicrous offense, right? But it's just like the way that he just aged out like right away was a bit disappointing. Not the best work that they've had all year. he came and went, right? This Dragon Fist, unfortunately. So I don't know, what do we want to give him? Let's go ahead, I'll be nice, let's give him a 6 out of 10, just all right. Now we are into the rest of the video. We have 4 characters left that we're going to be talking about, and thankfully these are all some big boys, right? We have 2 10 out of 10s left on the list. One of them is probably the thumbnail, like, you know, if we're being honest here. But TEQ Broly, what does this guy do that, you know, is so much fun? It is that turn 4, or whenever you want to use the active skill, after he transforms, you do this active skill and you put up an 80 million attack stat, or you put up a 60 million attack stat, right? He's doing 3 to 4 supers consistently, doing a ton of damage. The defense is just okay, but this legendary Super Saiyan Broly is like some of the most fun that I've had using a Dokkan character in a long time. And I don't know why. Oh, I'm pressing the EZA button. I'm trying to like go to the transform state, but you know, we have some really good stuff here. We have chance of performing a critical hit for the extreme class allies for 2 turns, right? Plus an additional attack plus 166% in guards all attack when performing an 18 key. Getting guard on that 18 key is crazy, right? And it's not hard to get that. This character, key is not an issue for him. He works well on a movie boss's team and stuff like that. I am a really big fan of how they design this character. And again, because this video is getting pretty long at this point, I really like him. Let's go ahead and give him an 8.5 out of 10. A lot of fun. Now, because you guys probably know a ton about these characters, I'm not going to talk too much about them. Gogeta and Janemba. So this actually gives me a chance to talk a little bit. I recently did a top 10 LRs list, and sometimes, you know, I'm human, I make mistakes. I think in the effort to, I think I just made that video too fast and didn't sit down and think about placements enough. And with this character, I think a lot of people, and again, this isn't to have like an I'm right, you're wrong sort of moment of like point fingers, but I think that what I was trying to state and the points that I made, like, I don't think that they were incorrect. I said that this character in base form is not perfect, and I think that you cannot put them on the level in the base form where a lot of times, like, some of these fights don't go 6, 7, 8 turns, right? Some fights are over in 3 to 4 turns, and you barely even get to see this Gogeta. And I don't think this base form is on the level of Beast Gohan, on the level of the Super Saiyan Trio, on the level of STR Gohan, right? It's, again, they're still amazing in base form, but Gogeta, who we want to talk about, easily. This is probably the best character in the game still. And I said that in the video. I said, like, if we're just talking about Gogeta, it's easy. He's at the top. right? So this Gogeta, for an EZA, they basically, like, I don't even really need to talk about him that much, right? They made him like the best character in the game. 10 out of 10. And if you want to know, it's because supers don't really doing anything to him. He is like anti-super for a character, which is really good. Has offense to boot, has defense to boot, mechanics to boot, rainbow orb changes, guaranteed crits. This EZA is perfect, 10 out of 10. The same thing will be said about Janemba. I think this is a 10 out of 10 EZA as well. Offense, defense, utility, everything you are looking for. So, last but not least, we have the new UR #1 Vegeta LR EZA. I think they did a very, very good job with this character. Looking at what he's doing, we have guard on key being 18 or more. Not too bad to get, right? We're able to get a lot of this, like, key is pretty easy to get in here. We have the offensive, we have the offense and defensive raising on both of our super attack effects right here. The unit super attack with Goku is very helpful. Where's the unit super attack effect? Right here, right? So then we have raises defense on all of the effects. Getting that extra attack, like the massive attack raise, is going to be good. I've seen this character easily get up into, like, the 40s, the 50 million attack stats and stuff like that, and it's pretty impressive. So again, don't want to leave you guys here for too long because he is the most brand new EZA in the game. But let's go ahead and give him, let's go with 9 out of 10 for Angel Vegeta. So there we have it, ranking all of the summonable LR EZAs from 2024. If I did miss any, they were a little bit hidden on the website, so let me know down below, and I will give you a rating in the replies just to make sure that I did it, but I'm pretty sure I got all of them. So there you guys go. I appreciate your time. If you did enjoy and you agree with my ratings, let me know in the comment section below, and leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all in the next one.